Hey, it's Kaero. Welcome back to the channel. We are in Mythic. We're doing best of one constructed. We're going into the arena today with Rakdos Midrange. I'll go through the deck with you. If you don't want to see that, hit the description. You can go straight into the games. Thank you very much for hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions or recommendations or anything, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks again. Here we go. 4 Voltage Surge, 1 red mana, 2 damage to a creature or planeswalker if you sacrifice an artifact that can deal 4 damage instead. We have artifacts in this deck in the form of tokens, blood tokens, and treasure tokens. So if you need a 1 mana 4 damage instant, there you go. 2 Deadly Disputes for sacrificing mostly devil tokens, or sometimes we want to sacrifice a Tenacious Underdog since we can blitz that back from the graveyard. And we'll draw 2 cards and create a treasure token off of that. Helps us to hit our 5 drops and keep the game going. Infernal Grasp, 2 cost, unconditional creature removal, you lose 2 life. Tenacious Underdog, Ob Nixilis' best friend, 2-drop 3/2, so it can brawl with things on turn 2 and 3. You can also blitz it from the graveyard for 4 and pay 2 life. And it's great to discard whenever you have Fable the Mirror Breaker. Blitz it in for later. It's just a great card. Great to sacrifice to Ob Nixilis, which we'll get to in just a second. Bloodtithe Harvester, a 2-drop 3/2, just like Tenacious Underdog. This one takes 1 red, 1 black. And you can, at sorcery speed only, tap it and make a target creature get -X/-X, where X is twice the number of blood tokens you control. Usually that's only going to be 1. If you have 2 Bloodtithe Harvesters and you haven't used the ability yet or sacked a blood token to Voltage Surge, sometimes you can get away with doing -4/-4 here, but usually it's just early removal and a brawling creature. 4 Meathook Massacres to control the board while we set up for turns 4, 5, and 6. Shatterskull Smashing. 3 Graveyard Trespassers, 3-drop 3/3 with Ward, discard a card, so it's a pain to get off the battlefield for the opponent. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If it's a creature, you can gain 1 life and drain your opponent for 1 health. Also turns into a 4/4 when it is night time. This is good for getting rid of Galvanic Iteration, things like Memory Deluge, things that your opponent's going to cast from the graveyard, or just sitting there pinging them, getting rid of their creatures. If you're in a really tight spot, you can exile a target card from your own graveyard too, if you need that 1 damage in the life. Fable the Mirror Breaker, all over the meta right now. 3 mana, basically a powerhouse. The best enchantment saga in the meta currently. 2/2 Red Goblin Shaman that when it attacks, it creates a treasure token, so it's like Goldspan Dragon's little brother. Turn 2, you can discard 2 cards if you do draw that many cards. Get rid of some lands if you don't need them. Draw some cards that you do need. Tenacious Underdog is a great discard here because you can blitz it in later. And then a 2/2 Goblin Shaman that can create a copy of another target non-legendary creature, except it has haste and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So, when we have this out, we like to double things like Immersturm Predator. You can also make copies at the end of your opponent's end step. And then when it comes to you, you have it untapped and ready to go. Very powerful. Ob Nixilis, the Adversary, one of the most anticipated cards from Streets of New Capenna. Hasn't seen a ton of play recently, but he is still powerful, still very good. And he's a 3-drop, 3 loyalty planeswalker. Usually you'll sacrifice a Tenacious Underdog or sometimes a Bloodtithe Harvester that you played on turn 2 for the casualty effect, so you get 2 of these planeswalkers. Then you can -2 on one of them to create a devil, and then start +1ing and making your opponent either take 2 damage or lose 2 life or discard a card. Very powerful, potent. Sometimes you can get up to 3 or 4 of them out there, which is pretty nuts. 1 Hagra Mauling, it's a tap land, but sometimes you just need an instant speed removal spell. So we have that. Henrika Domnathi, 4-drop 1/3 flying at the beginning of combat. You can choose 1. Each player sacks a creature, which is not usually a problem for us if we have a little devil token from Ob Nixilis. You can draw a card, lose a life, or you can transform her into a 3/4 flying death touch lifelink. So if you're a little bit low on life, they don't have a flyer, you can start getting in there with Henrika, healing yourself and closing the game out there. Immersturm Predator, 4-drop Vampire Dragon, 3/3 flying. When it becomes tapped, you exile one target card from a graveyard, put a counter on it, and you can sacrifice another creature to give it indestructible until end of turn. Keep in mind this will not protect it from exile effects. There are a lot of exile effects in the meta, so don't sacrifice another creature thinking that it's going to be safe from that. It also will not be protected from Meathook Massacre unless you can get its toughness above X, whatever they do. So, things to keep in mind, but our sacrifice targets generally want to be Devil tokens or Tenacious Underdog. Lolth Spider Queen, the all-star planeswalker of Dungeons and Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, usually used to make 2 spiders, and then if we have enough tokens and trash on the field, we attack in and close the game. Bada bing, bada boom. Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Den of the Bugbear, help us to close the game. Swamps Takenuma Banded Mire, discard it for 4 mill 3 cards and get your Lolth back, or get your Immersturm Predator, or whatever you need back. Soken's Crucible of Defiance. This card, one of the least popular ones from the legendary lands of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, but it is actually still pretty potent. You can discard this, create 2/1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens. If you need something to sacrifice to Immersturm Predator, feel free to sacrifice one of these. If you need chump blockers, say you're neck and neck with the opponent, you're at parity, they come in lethal, channel this out, create 2 chump blockers, and then you're good to go. Blightstep Pathway, Haunted Ridge, thank you very, very much again. We're over 1,200 subscribers right now, and I can't believe it. The community and the channel and the subscribers have been amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the games. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments. All right, getting into it tonight with some Rakdos Midrange. This looks pretty decent. We'll have to use Takenuma turn 1, and then, actually, no, I'm sorry, Haunted Ridge 1, then Takenuma 2. We can cast a Bloodtithe Harvester, then get into Fable or Ob Nixilis. Not too bad. So that comes in tap, that goes down first. Hopefully we can just start aggroing the opponent. Graveyard Trespasser, I like seeing that. Especially if we're up against mono-white aggro with Cave of the Frost Dragon. Could be Boros, we'll have a hard time keeping up there, but... Arrow of Enlightenment. Scry 2, gain 2 life, exile it, return it as a 2/2 first strike. Alright. Opponent scry 2 to the bottom. They didn't like what they saw. Alright, get this down on black. Go in for 3. Put the Fable out. Fable first, because we want the treasure tokens to ramp into other things. 3 planes. So it looks like mono white. My announcement. I think we're good. Keep everything here. As long as we can continue to get rid of their little creatures, I think we just go creature aggro mode. Having more creatures on the field will reward us too for having a reflection of Kiki Jiki. We can start making some copies. Restoration. Send it. First striker is going to kill our token. Okay.
Families call me their adversary. I lie. Go sow some chaos. Pleasure doing business with you.
Seems like they run sweepers. Let's try to get in there before they can do anything about it. If they only keep one creature, Henrika can take care of that. 6/6 first strike. Okay. We have a devil to chump block. I only have 4 lands, so they can't Doomscar. I guess they could depopulate. Borrowed time on what? Yeah, that makes sense. Chump with the devil. Rid of a meat hook. Bloodtithe Harvester.
Shake down the locals. Defy me, and you'll lose everything.
Each player sacks a creature. We're going to sacrifice this devil. See if they get rid of their token, because if they do, it'll open them up to 5 damage. Then +1 here. Looking pretty good, feeling confident. I don't think there's any world in which we die this turn. But we can simply create a devil and Meat Hook Massacre and we should win the game, so should be there. Doing a little dance. Got it. Good game. They were setting up to play a little bit more controlling, but we're able to just hammer in creatures, so good game. Okay, I like this. I wish we had like a 4 or 5 drop, but we can get out there, Bloodtithe Harvester, and be nice and aggressive with the Tenacious Underdog. Okay. Mountain down first in case we need to use Voltage Surge. And take Voltage Surge. Check for traps. What are they going to discard? Meat Hook? Discarding Tenacious Underdog. We can still bring it back, though. That's a nice draw. In you go.
Families call me their adversary. My goons will make quick work of pleasure doing business with you.
I'm gonna try to make all the devils. Exiled our graveyard too, so we can't bring back Tenacious Underdogs. Alright. Devil in. Let's get rid of this land. See if we can draw something else to be a little bit aggressive here. Ob Nixilis is good.
Oh, I have a job for you.
We can make them discard cards too.
Tribute is owed.
Celestis. So we'll do the -2 here to make another devil. Tick the copy up. We'll attack with all the devils. Oh. It's just totally discard. Oh, Dreadfeud can't discard it. Oh, mana value 2 or less. Alright. So then. We go in with the 2 devils. This is the token. This is the real one. So we create this devil.
Next time, I'll go sow some chaos.
Bring this in.
Doing business with
Sack this devil. Ob Nixilis is doing it all by himself. Another devil. Lose 2 life unless they discard a card.
Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
I don't know if there's a way they get out of this one. They discarded a lot of our cards, but I think they're dead. Yeah.
By coin.
If they choose to discard all their cards here, we'll just meet Hook.
Tribute is owed. Your punishment is my entertainment.
So many Ob Nixilis copies.
Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
Meet Hook for 1. Then direct all these here. Good game. Kind of feel bad for them because they did do a good job of exiling all of our stuff. Seems like they drew all their discard stuff, so that, I mean, that is a tough break. It was a fun game to do, though. They did have other things, right? So their plan was to discard early, then go into Professor Onyx and invoke Despair. Alright. Good game. Opponent goes first. We have a Voltage Surge and a Bloodtithe Harvester. Deadly Dispute if we need it. Draw 1 land. I think we're pretty good. I don't mind keeping a hand like this because there's so much aggro, so much Boros Burn in the meta that the sooner you can get down a nice creature, get above them, you'll be good to go. Okay. Feel like this is about to get Dragons Fired or Play With Fired out of the way. Tovalor. Okay. Werewolves. So the question here is, do we use Voltage Surge or Infernal Grasp? Attack. They won't block. Let them go. Yeah, now we'll Voltage Surge that away. Back that blood token. Now we got the Blizzard Brawl too. Unless they have a Snakeskin Veil. Cameo Safekeeping. Okay. Let's do this now. I'm willing to trade cards. Get Tovalar off the field. I think it puts him behind a pretty good deal. Trespasser in. Get rid of... it doesn't matter. Tovalar. Oh, if it was a creature, you gain a life. Okay. So it did matter.
We must put an end to the violence. Run wild. Run free.
We're just going straight to the face here. Keep up Deadly Dispute to sacrifice that blood token, draw some cards.
Follow the enemy's scent. They're close.
Oski Spare of Secrets. Okay, Indestructible, attacks each combat of Fable. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. They want to do that because they would like to draw cards. Okay, before we block, let's do this. Yeah, Meathook can take care of Toski, so might as well block here. So if we go Meathook for 2, kill this, we can attack for 1. And then we have 3 mana left over. We can sack this with Ob Nixilis and just start making him discard. I think that's probably a good play.
Stand with me. You're my enemy. Go sow some chaos.
The darkness won't hide our enemies from us.
Okay, they drew a land, so they don't really have anything to do. Create a treasure, we block here. Both in top deck mode. They have Arlen though, so they can make a 5/5 werewolf. Can't really attack with both though unless they have another creature because yeah, just there. Okay, that's fine. We have Sokens on, we can flash in a couple 1/1s. Eater of Virtue. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can blitz this in. Let's discard that. In. They take a damage here. Another Fable down. I think that's probably going to do it. Yeah, good game. We were both in top deck mode for a minute. We were like, all right, you go. You top deck something. What do you got? One goes first. This looks decent. We can keep this. Okay, red mana first for Voltage Surge. It is Boros. Wanted to get that out of the hand turn 1 because we have things to do on turns 2, 3, and 4. They said, I see your voltage surge. I raise you a play with fire. Wedding announcement, Boros. Okay. It's different than what I'm used to seeing. Let's go in. They take it. Alright, let's play Lolth.
You require my subservience will be rewarded.
Two cards left in their hand. I don't think they're going to play sweepers. Okay, that's the way they get rid of Lolth.
Our time is over.
And then Apparition on the enchantment. Makes sense. I think we're going to be good here. These are all going to be 2/2s in a second. Does that matter to us? Probably not. Okay. We don't want that Hopeful Initiate training. So I'm thinking what we do here is we aggro Mauling on the Apparition, get the Fable back, and make another token, and then just hang out. Oh yeah, it comes back as a token. Alright. It's alright, we're just hanging out. Draw another land, we play another Lolth. I think we overwhelm them with more trash than they have. That trains. Alright, we get this. Double block here, and then we let the other one go. Shatter Skull Smashing will work.
You could have such power. My will cannot be denied.
Okay. Yeah, I think they just realized that they put out some tokens, but we're going to have more, so... Good game. Interesting Boros build. Not used to seeing Wedding Invitation in Boros. That's cool. Opponent goes first. We have lots of removal. Concerning, we need to draw a land. If we can draw a land, get a token in here to give us a treasure token, we'll be okay. We're on the draw, so the chances of us drawing a land is pretty high. Here we go. Unfortunately, we see Izzet colors here, meaning our removal is at much lower value, probably, than against another aggro or mid-range deck. An aggro or another mid-range deck, I should say. Hold the multiverse. This is going to be a tough matchup. Okay. The only reason I think that they would be running Evolving Wilds is if they're running Mill. That's my theory. get rid of both voltage surges. We don't need those. Another Fable. Yeah, let's go for that. If we can make them keep using their removal on tokens, we generate card advantage as we go and offset theirs. Evolving Wilds in an Is-It shell with no Ruin Crab or anything, so they're going to Fading Hope this out. Use Strangle and not Fading Hope. But why? Why did they use Strangle out of their hand and not Fading Hope? There must be a reason for it, right? Do we go for Lolth here and get it negated? We don't really have a way of getting it back. I don't know exactly what they're doing yet, so let's put down a Bloodtithe Harvester and then let's keep up Infernal Grasp in case they play like a big creature or something. I'm having a hard time figuring out their game plan. We can make them tap out for something here and destroy it if it's like a gold span or something, and they don't. And even if they do counter it. Iteration. Okay, so it is mill. Or Fading Hope. Both things. Okay. Set us back quite a bit. Get rid of this Infernal Grasp. I don't think we're going to need the removal. Let's go Graveyard Trespasser. Get rid of Galvanic Iteration. Exile that from their graveyard so they can't flash it back. Okay. Get rid of Bloodtithe.
Show you what happens. We will slay our enemies.
Hive. Okay, they kicked it. They milled half of the deck.
Children will take care of you.
See if they have more things to mill us out before we attack in again.
Exchange for loyalty. I will get what I want.
16 cards left. Iteration, Maddening Cacophony. Tenacious. Yeah, that'll do it. We weren't able to get damage in quick enough. Okay. Good game.